Hi and welcome to Retired for Gaming Just 2 Laps. So here this is the big Monza comparison. We have Forza Motorsport 7, we have Assetto Corsa Competizione, we have Assetto Corsa, Automobilista 2, Project Cars 2, F1 21, Race Room Racing Experience, and finally Race Factor 2. So here we go with a big comparison. We start with Forza Motorsport 7. Well, here we go. We are starting the race. We are in a Porsche 911 RSR, and here we are with the first race of this big comparison. I'm just doing one lap in every sim map just to see how it's working, and well, as in many cases, we'll see a big traffic jam in the first chicane. So let's look about the drivability. It's in Forza Motorsport 7. It's a little like on a rubber band. It's very difficult to configure the cars you will have in the race. It's not so easy, so sometimes just putting some cars you don't want to have in the race. I tried to get only GT3 cars, but sometimes there are some other cars in here. The graphics are really good, but drivability is not the best. Graphics are, let's say, yeah, I got some good sun rays. There's really no response from the track, absolutely non-response from the track. Force feedback, well, let's say it's very heavy on braking. Braking is, you get a little bit hard vibrations on the steering wheel. Sliding, I don't know why it's sliding. It's really strange to control the car here. Trying to switch to a few perspectives at the end of the lap. So it is all done on the fly, very quick. So as I said, graphics are really good. We'll then see a quick replay after finishing the lap. So this is the inboard camera. Let's go for the end of the lap here, and we'll quickly jump into a replay of Forza Motorsport 7. So here we go with the replay. This is just a quick look at the replay. Yeah, so the replay is very good in Forza Motorsport 7, but as I said, the most critics from my side is it's the configuration of the race, and of course the drivability is not really good for sim racing. It's more like an action racer. As you see, the replays are pretty good. So this was Forza Motorsport 7, and at the end of every replay for every app, I'm doing a little personal review to give a rating for this app. So here we go with the rating for Forza Motorsport 7. So here is my rating for Forza Motorsport 7. So for the graphics, I give 3 stars out of 5, because the graphics are pretty good, also the replays, but I have a little bit problems with the details of the track surface, and of course, well, the ad banners at the sides and so on, it's not really original. There's a lot rated especially to Forza Motorsport 7. Okay, so for the audio, it's a very poor sound, I have to say. There's no real motor sound, and we have a lot of squeezing tires, which is not real, so I give just 1 star. Track response and force feedback handling, I also give just 1 star, because this is pretty bad, and I don't have a real driving feeling, no immersion driving there. A variety of cars and track layouts. We have a few track layouts, and that's okay. You have some track variants to choose of, so I give it 3 stars. Flexibility, tuning, and weather is the next position I'm doing some ratings, so you can't really control the weather. This is just done by random. You can only choose day or night, and for rain this is really nothing. The user interface is also, in my point of view, it's pretty bad. It's very difficult to configure it for your needs and to get a race with the cars you want to have. So from my point of view, also just 1 star. The final rating I'm doing is for hardware requirements regarding 4K gaming, because I'm doing everything in 4K with maximum details, and I have a comparison to an RTX 2060 Super on another PC. I can't show this in the video, but therefore I can say the hardware requirements for 4K gaming are not too high. So in this case I can give it 4 stars. You can run it also in 4K with a not really high performance graphics card. That's pretty good. So we have an overall rating of 14 stars, and here we go with the next step. So here we are in the Assetto Corsa Competizione. We're in Ferrari and the race is going to start. Oh, there's pretty fantastic graphics here in the Assetto Corsa Competizione. Going to start here. Nice cars, but it's very limited in the track layouts with just 1 track, because as all you know, it's very specialized with GT racing, but you only have GT3 cars, and we have of course also GT4 cars, but the cars are very pretty designed, as well as the track, which is really fantastic, detailed, and well, okay, I have to say the demand is really high. I'm just switching here a little bit early to all the cameras with very good camera control. Drivability is, well, let's say fantastic. Have a really good track response, good feeling on the wheel, pretty good feeling on the wheel. So I'm going back to this position here, so you see more of the track. The track is really pretty detailed. Here, have a look at the ad banners. They're not really original. We have lots of advertising banners from Assetto Corsa Competizione, from Kunas, and from GT World Racing. But all in all, it's a fantastic representation of the track. And as I said, drivability is very, very good here. We have some problems with the configuration because you cannot configure to do a race with specific laps, just with a specific time. Minimum is 10 minutes. So I'm just doing this 1 lap here. Give an overview. Look at this here. That's really good graphic details. And well, after crossing the finish line, I'm going to show you a quick replay. So here we go with the replay. So I have to say the replay in the Assetto Corsa Competizione, it's really fantastic. It's well, it's like it comes close to photorealism. It's absolutely fantastic what they have done here. So look at the first chicane here. The cars are so much detailed. You can look even at the details of the brakes and everything. It's very, very detailed. The camera moves are pretty good. Not really like cinematic moves like in some other apps, but it's really good. You have control of a lot of camera settings. You can do some good photo screenshots. So all in all, the replay is very good. And well, with these nice pictures here, we can quickly go into the ratings for Assetto Corsa Competizione. So well, here is my rating for Assetto Corsa Competizione. So well, for the graphics, I give it 4 stars. I removed 1 star because of the many product-specific ad banners within the game. For the audio, I can say it's a really good, realistic sound, pretty good sound within the car, and also in the replays it's fantastic sound. But some little bit power is sometimes missing, so I give it 4 stars for the audio. Track response and force feedback handling are really good, but sometimes a little bit too less power on the wheel, specifically on my wheel, I think. Compared to other sim apps, so I give it a good 4 stars. Variety of cars and track layouts is really poor in Assetto Corsa Competizione. Okay, it's specialized for GT racing, GT cars, but you just have 1 track to choose of and 2 series of cars, GT3 and GT4. Flexibility, tuning and weather is really good. You have a lot of tuning possibilities for the cars. For the weather you can control a lot of conditions of the road, of the surface, everything is configurable. But the only thing is what's missing is real weather or live weather or historic weather. So I give it 4 stars for tuning and weather. The user interface is pretty good to use. I have some small critics. I will not go too much into detail, but all in all, it's pretty good. So I give 3 stars for this. Hardware requirements regarding 4K gaming. Hardware requirements are very high, very demanding. So I tried it also with a 2060 Super, and it's really not possible to play it in 4K. Even it's hard to play it on 1440p with the 2060 in full epic details. So it's running on my RTX 3080, but all in all, as I said, it's very demanding. It's running on the Unreal Engine, and so therefore I can give just only 1 star for the hardware requirements. Overall, I come to a rating, my personal rating of 21 stars for Assetto Corsa Competizione. And here we go with the next app. So here we go with Race Factor 2 with AMG GT3, and here we go. Maybe you can hear it from the start. There's an absolutely fantastic sound here in Race Factor 2, an absolutely incredible sound. So be sure I will give it a very high rating, especially for the sound. So from the first few meters you feel a very good track response, very good drivability. It's, well, let's say close to perfection, the handling. You're feeling so real in the car. There's some tracks you can choose of, Race Factor 2, some variants, and a lot of cars, you know, and again in a GT3 car. But one thing maybe you can see also from the video, this is the graphics, which is really a little bit poor in our Factor 2. It's looking like at least 1 generation back from my point of view. We'll see it, the reviews look a little bit better, the replays will see some better drivability. It's absolutely fantastic. The wheel control, the throttle response, brake response, everything that's really close to perfection, let's say. So if you like the hardcore sim, also the tuning options are very fine. You can tune everything absolutely into detail. You can drive really to the millimeter. Very accurate driving here, absolutely accurate driving. That's absolutely fun for everyone who loves very realistic sim racing regarding the control and of course the sound. That's absolutely fantastic. What I really don't like, that's my really personal opinion, that's the graphics. If they have the graphics like, let's say Assetto Corsa or Assetto Corsa Competizione, or let's say Automobilista 2, which we will see later, then this would be my absolutely number 1. But well, we'll see the rating soon. This was the first lap, so we'll soon jump into a replay. So here we see the replay, and as I said, the graphics are, from my point of view, they are not really good. Yes, let's say they are okay, but it's not comparable to other sim maps, so it is at least one generation behind from the graphics. The cars, of course, are very detailed, even in the replay. You can have a very good look at the details of the cars, but in all the track details are not that what I expect from a real up-to-date racing sim. So, well, let's go into the rating and see how my view on this is on rFactor 2. Well, finally, here's my rating for rFactor 2. So, for the graphics, I unfortunately can only give 2 stars because this is too much behind other racing sim maps, so only 2 stars for the graphics. For the audio, I can give 4 stars because it's really fantastic, the audio. So a little bit, let's say, from the surface response and from the audience and so on is a little bit missing, but the engine sounds are really perfect, so I give it 4 stars. For track response and force feedback handling, I can give the full 5 stars because it's really fantastic, absolutely fantastic handling, absolutely fantastic car control. So full stars here. Variety of cars and track layouts, it's pretty good. You have a lot of track varieties you can choose off from the workshop. You can download a lot of track layouts and also the cars, the car availability is pretty good. It's one of the best in all sim racings because you can download whatever you want in the workshop. Flexibility, tuning, and weather, it's also really good. You can go very much into detail of the car tuning, and also from the weather conditions you can set up a lot of conditions to this. It's really good, but again, and as in Assetto Corsa Competizione, one thing is missing at the weather control. This is real weather or historic weather. This is the only thing that's missing, therefore I give it 4 stars. User interface is also a little bit behind of other racing sim maps in my point of view, so it's sometimes not so easy to switch, even to go into a replay and so on. This is a little bit difficult sometimes, so I just give 2 stars for this. Hardware requirements regarding 4K gaming, it's pretty good. It's also running in 4K, not with even the most powerful cards. So you can also go for 4K with some older cards. And therefore I give it 4 stars, which gives us an overall rating of 25 stars for rFactor 2. So here we go with the next one. So, well, this is now F1 21, and I'm doing this race with the F2 car. So let's go here for 1 lap. The start was pretty good here, and of course the game's very demanding here. As always, the first corner not too easy. So driving on the wheel is not the best here. The driving feeling is not really good, I have to say. So the graphics are pretty good. The sound, it's okay for an F1 game. I think it's really okay. So also the sound of the outside is pretty good. But the graphics are really demanding on the hardware. Going a little bit outside here, and you just have one track variant. Of course, it's very specialized, one special, and we have just the F2 cars. What I'm missing is a little bit, maybe some historic cars. You could implement some historic cars, some historic track layouts. This is all not included here in F1 21. Also, the configuration possibilities of the weather are very poor. You have not really good control of the weather conditions, just a few options to set up. And so the track's design is done very original. This is pretty good. We have and also we have a lot of science related to the game itself, to F1 F21. So this was just one lap in the F21 game, and here we jump into the replay. So here we go with the replay, with the highlights. And I have to say the replays are pretty good in F121. There's some real fantastic graphics, and we have the possibility to get a summary of the race with only showing the highlights, and even the slow motions are absolutely fantastic. There's no doubt about it. This is really great. This is up to date. This is like a real next generation sim. The replays is absolutely fantastic. And as I said, it's very hardware demanding. I have even some problems. Let's say this was a little crash further in the race, but it's very, very hardware demanding. I have sometimes some problems even with my RTX 3080 to get 60 FPS within the game. So, well, but all in all, fantastic graphics here in the replay. And well, here we go to my rating of F121. Well, here's the rating of F121 from my personal point of view. So for the graphics, I give it 4 stars. I remove 1 star because of the many game-related ad banners, which are not original, which are placed into the game. For the audio, as I said earlier, it's pretty good. It's okay for an F1 game. I'm missing some more noises from the surroundings, from the track, and so on. But all in all, it's well, it's good. It's not perfect. It's good. So I give it 3 stars. Track response and force feedback handling. Well, it's okay. It's not pretty good, but let's say it's okay, but not less, not more. Variety of cars and track layouts, it's very poor. You just have the one track layout. We have no historic cars or something else, or no historic tracks. So, well, okay. Flexibility, tuning, and weather. We have some tuning possibilities. That's pretty good. And for the weather, it's really poor. So if it's only for the weather, I just could give it 1 star. But tuning options are okay. So I can give it 3 stars for flexibility, tuning, and weather. The user interface, the ease of use is, from my point of view, it's not really good. It's just basic control, and from my point of view, for a next-gen sim racing app, there should be more. It should be more intuitive. So I just give it 2 stars. For hardware requirements regarding 4K gaming, can give it only 1 star because it's very, very demanding, and as I said, even on RTX 3080 it's hard to get the game running with all maximum details, with ray tracing and so on and so on, with 60 FPS. So I just give it 1 star. You can see it also in a lot of YouTube videos that gamers with not the newest graphic cards are forced to reduce the details very much, and then it's not really looking good like a next generation game. So all in all, I have collected 17 stars for F121 in Monza, and here we go with the next one. Well, here we go with Automobilista 2 now, and let's start this with a little bit bumpy start. Okay, we're in Porsche GT3, 911 GT3, and from the first meters you can see there's a completely different picture of the track. You see we have some autumn leaves here, okay. Traffic jam in the first corner as usual. So the track's looking pretty detailed, with a little bit of strange sound here, but force feedback control is absolutely fantastic, and look at the track. So, and of course, this is live weather from Monza, live weather coverage. This is completely different, it is unique to all other racing sims, that you can set up real live weather, or you can also choose from historic weather every day, every hour of day, back to 1979. This is absolutely fantastic. The cars are so pretty in detail with good sun rays here. Car control is very, very good here. And if we compare it, for example, to Race Factor 2, we have completely different kind of graphics. Absolutely fantastic from my point of view. Okay, sometimes maybe you can say it's a little bit comic-esque, but no, from my point of view, that's pretty perfect. From my personal view, it's better than F1 21, which is really close to perfection. And it's really, it's hardly demanding, but not so much in F1 21. Car control, as I said, and force feedback is absolutely good, absolutely fantastic. And look at the car details, the reflection on the cars, graphics is, let's say, nearly unbeatable here. We have a huge variety of tracks. Just go quickly through the camera views. There's some really good camera views, even the motion blur here within the helmet view. That's absolutely fantastic. So, and we are in the outlap, and we jump to the replay, see how it's looking there. So here we go with the replay, and have a look at this. At the nice track design. Okay, we have also some little ad banners, but not so many related to the game. We have the possibility there. In general, there's no modding to all. There's games, just a few mods on the liveries, that's all, but no track mods, no additional graphical mods or something else. So this is really fantastic replay here, looking very good, and one of the big advantages of Automobilista 2 is also the cinematic views. Just switching through a few of them, you can get a really fantastic view of the cars here in every perspective, from behind, from above, from the side, moving around. Okay, sometimes it's moving through the car itself, but no problem. This is absolutely fantastic. Look at this here, look at these pictures. This is absolutely fantastic. I think this must be a 5-star rating for the graphics, and all in all, we see in a few seconds how we rate the rest of Automobilista 2 in this Monza special big comparison. Here we go. So well, here's my rating for Automobilista 2. So I can say the graphics are absolutely stunning, absolutely fantastic. We have only few game-related ad banners, the autumn leaves, and you can also have winter foliage, and it's absolutely fantastic. The car details, everything, the very, very detailed, the smallest details of the track, and the grandstands, everything is absolutely fantastic. So I can only give 5 stars for the graphics. The audio is pretty good, with well, but not too good compared, let's say, to Race Factor 2 or something else. It's sometimes I think they're a little bit faint, not too realistic. So I just give 3 stars for this. Track response, force feedback handling. It's not easy to drive in Automobilista 2. The force feedback handling is sometimes not the way that I wanted to have. That's also compared maybe to R-Factor 2. It's not so good as this. So I give it 3 stars for track response and force feedback handling. Variety of cars and track layouts, I can give it full 5 stars, because we have a lot of track layouts. Not easy to speak these words. We have yes, we have a lot of track layouts, and we have so many cars to choose from, and they're getting more and more. With every update we get some new cars. Flexibility, tuning and weather, also 5 stars, full 5 stars, because we have a lot of tuning options, and the weather conditions, it's really perfect. You have the season foliages, winter, summer, spring, autumn. I've seen it in the video, the autumn leaves, and of course you can choose every day every hour back to the 1st of January 1979. You have the realistic weather, you can have the live weather as soon as you're racing now. And for every track you have the specific weather at any time. That's absolutely fantastic. You don't find it in any other sim app. Well, the user interface sometimes, well, it's okay, but it's not fantastic. It's not really overwhelming using the UI, so it's okay. So therefore, 3 stars. Hardware requirements regarding the 4K gaming, I also give it 3 stars. It's sometimes not too easy. Sometimes you get even with 30. 80 you get a little bit stuttering in rainy or night conditions, so depending on the cars you have, if you have some older cars, you need to reduce the details and so on, you need to reduce the anti-aliasing, so therefore I give it 3 stars, but with an RTX 3080 in most cases you have the full 60 FPS. So overall, yeah, depending on the 3 times I give 5 stars for this game, I come to an overall rating of 27 stars from Automobilista 2. So, well, let's see if there's any other sim app who can beat this now. Let's go on with the next one. So here we go. This is now Race Room Racing Experience. Okay, this was a bad start. So now we can start. So it was a problem with my configuration of the force feedback and of the steering wheel. So, but here we go now. This Race Room Racing Experience, and I GT3. You can see here the way to the first chicane here in MONZA. The graphics are really good, and have in mind that this is just running on DX9, so you can have some sort of traffic jam here, but no matter, there's no problem. Okay, let's go. Configuration options are pretty well, but weather conditions is not so good configured here. But as I said, the optics are pretty good, but it's running on DX9. Steering control is very good here. Ready to reconfigure our wheel. As I said, it was completely configuration of the wheel now. But in all, it's very good track response, very good feedback here. So the force feedback was completely optimized in one of the last updates. Sounds are not as good as in the package here. The track is not so original, a lot of advertising banners, but definitely it's a lot of fun driving here. Race Room Racing Experience. For those who have what we see, not up-to-date components, but still not the fastest cruisers, not the fastest graphics card. It's really good to play it even in 4K. Running on the X9 is also not so hardware demanding, so you can play it very well in high resolutions. Some older hardware is pretty good for beginners, and best of all, it's free at Steam. You can download the basic version for free at Steam. That's pretty good for beginners of sim racing. So, well, nice race, and jump into replay now. So here we go with a replay on Race Room Racing Experience. Takes a while, and here we go with the start. So replays are very good. You have camera is called Action Cam. This gives you a very good view, and this is it. The sounds are pretty good in the game while driving, and I can say they are very good in replays. You have a very realistic sound, very great headphones. It's a fantastic sound you get here, and of course as I said for DirectX 9, it's only running on DirectX 9. You need to remember this is time it will come, but then I expect to have one of the best graphics ever. So let's say for DirectX 9, it's very, very good graphics here. The cars are very detailed. I have some nice spots flying just off the track. It's race car, everything is really good. Let's go to experience. So, well, here's my rating for Race Room Racing Experience in Monza. So, from the graphics, I have to say they are pretty good. They're really good, but it's running on the X9, so therefore, many things are not so as it should be for, let's say, next generation racing game. So it's very, very good. There's no doubt about it. But it's not so good as, let's say, compared to F121 or to Automobilista 2. And therefore, I give it a good 3 stars. For the audio, I give it full 4 stars within the car. Therefore, I remove 1 star. It's not absolutely perfect, but in the replays, you have a really perfect sound. It's absolutely astonishing sound. And also in the car, you have a very, very good sound. Every car has its own designed sound, which is really close to reality. Track response and force feedback handling, I can give it also 4 stars because handling is very, very good feeling on the brake and on the throttle. And also the car control is very, very good track response, and you feel nearly everything from the curbs to the track. Everything is really good. So I give it also good 4 stars for it. Variety of cars and track layouts, it's pretty good. There are not so many tracks, but you have a good variety of cars, so therefore also 3 stars for race experience. Flexibility, tuning and weather. You have very good tuning options, no doubt about it. A lot of detailed tuning options, that's pretty good. But regarding the weather conditions, it's pretty bad. There's not many options you can just choose in the morning or in the evening, or that's not really much. So I think they need to improve this to get a good rating on this. So therefore, it's maybe 3 stars look a little bit less because the tuning itself, it's very, very good, very detailed, but the weather conditions are very poor in racing experience. Also, the user interface from my point of view is not really good. It's a little bit complicated to use even for beginners. It's not easy to find where you are, where you have to go, where you have to click and so on. So therefore I give it just 2 stars. But it's getting full 5 stars for hardware requirements for K gaming. And because I have to say this, it's running on DX9, and so therefore you can also get your older PC with not so well equipped graphics card. For example, with my other PC 2060 Super, I can also run it in 4K with 60 FPS with nearly all full details, so that's pretty good. So if you have some older hardware, get Race Room Racing Experience. It's worth it to run it also on older machines in good resolutions in 60 FPS. And best of all, as I said before, it's free on Steam in the basic version. So I get to an overall rating of 24 stars for Race Room Racing Experience. And here we go with the next one, which is Project Cars 2. So here we go with Project Cars 2. We are in McLaren, and we are again in the GT3s. Let's have a look inside, and maybe if you think, oh, I've seen it just before, it was looking similar, so you're right. Camera perspectives and so on. Also you see we have some autumn season foliages. That's pretty the same as in Automobilista 2, because it's the same engine, but I can feel it just from the steering wheel that, well, it's feeling much more better in, oh well, in Automobilista too, so that's the result. The braking is not really easy here. The car control, so I'm not really satisfied with the control here compared to Automobilista 2. That's a big difference. So I will compare this now mainly to Automobilista 2 because that is the same engine. And so from my point of view, the Automobilista 2 is the successor of Virgin Cars 2. We have a huge variety of cars, and you have the season foliage and so on and so on. You have a good variety of tracks, but the graphics are much more improved now in Automobilista 2. They look similar, but when you go into the details, there's so much changed in Automobilista 2. So the trees are much more detailed, the surroundings are much more detailed, much more real life-like than this one here. And of course, I'm really not satisfied with the track response. Is not too bad, but the steering control is let's say I'm not satisfied with this. You've really good weather options, that's all pretty good, but that it's not as perfect as it is in Automobilista 2. And here we go to the replay. So the replay also is, let's say, as good as in Automobilista 2, not from the graphic itself, but from the options. You also have the opportunity, you go into this nice cinematic replays. That's also related to the engine, the Madness engine, which is the base of these two games of Automobilista 2 and of Virgin Cars 2. What I left out of my comparison is Project Cars 3, because Project Cars 3 is really bad. You can have a look at a special review for Project Cars 3, another video from me. So you can see there why I did not put it into this comparison here for Monza, because Project Cars 3 is really bad. And well, so Project Cars 2 is really pretty good, because it's still some years old, but therefore it's very nice, very good graphics, and even those cinematic replays are absolutely fantastic. Have a look at these nice pictures here, and here we go to my rating for Project Cars 2. So here is it, my rating for Project Cars 2 and Monza. So for the graphics, I give it 4 stars because it's really fantastic graphics. Not as perfect as in Automobilista 2, but we have the cinematic replays, we have the season foliages, and with very good details of the track and of the cars. And all in all, it's really good graphics, let's say. So for the audio, it's well, it's not too bad, it's not too good, so it's in the mid-range, so I give it 3 stars. It could be better for it's more realism. It could be much more better, more power on the sound. That's a little bit missing. Track response and force feedback handling, from my point of view, it's really poor. It's not so good as in other C-maps, and it's much more worse than in Automobilista 2, or even in R-Factor 2, or in Race Room Racing Experience. Therefore, I just can give it 2 stars. I'm really not satisfied with track response. Track response not too bad, but force feedback and the handling is very bad. And from my point of view, it's it's a little bit better than let's say Forza Motorsport, but that's all. I'm not satisfied with this. Varieties of cars and track layouts, it's pretty good. It's not as good as in Automobilista 2, but it's okay. We have some historic cars. We have, well, let's say, yes, a big amount of cars, but from the track layouts, it's much more better in Automobilista 2 and also in some other maps. Flexibility, tuning, and weather is also, it's pretty good. It's not perfect. We have good weather options. We have some good tuning options, which is pretty good. Therefore, also 3 stars from my point of view. The user interface also, it's well, it's a good average, but nothing special, not too worse. So therefore, also 3 stars from my rating. the hardware requirements for 4K gaming, well, it's okay, but sometimes it's a little bit demanding, even in rainy conditions or something else. So I just remove 1 star for raining and night conditions where it's not so good. But it's okay even on running on a little bit older hardware. So therefore I can give it 4 stars and get an overall rating of 22 stars for project cars. And here we go for the last app in my review, which is Assetto Corsa. Let's go. Well, here we go with the last one in my review, which is Assetto Corsa. And again in AMG GT3. And look at this, it's freaking pretty good from the first meters. So let's see, it is one of the dinosaurs of sim racing. And you feel it with the steering control, the track response. It's well, let's say it's not really up to date, but you feel the roots of Assetto Corsa Competizione. The graphics are really nice here, good graphics. Switch to perspective. Oh, the AI is also not the best, but I did not really did some rating regarding the AI because it's not good everything. Oops. Yeah, it's hard on the brakes here, hard to go on the brakes, so steering control is really not the best, so compared to the Assetto Corsa Competizione, it's completely different. There's a huge progress they have done to Assetto Corsa Competizione from Assetto Corsa, but graphics are really looking good here, absolutely. No doubt about this. Okay, we have a lot of game-related ad banners, but it's in most games. But beside this, the track is looking very good. It's very detailed. And as I said, I'm not satisfied with the steering control and the track response. Yes, it's good, it's okay, but it's not so immersive to drive it like, let's say, Automobilista 2 or an Wreckfest 2. And look at this here, the graphics are really good. I mean, you see it on the replay, also in the replay. This is really good, really fantastic. The sky is looking very good. All the details are well done. Some reflections on the windows on the right here. It's pretty good. So this was just a and Assetto Corsa, Monza, and here we jump into the replay. So here we go with the replay in Assetto Corsa. Starting from the last position. But look at this. So the replay is looking, well, pretty good. It's really nice camera views here, and cars on the track are looking fantastic on these pictures here. So yeah, that was the last sim up, and after we see the rating of Assetto Corsa now, I will show you the winner of my comparison here. This was a very special video with 8 sim apps, all in Monza, all on the same track. Let's see, different cars, most of them were GT3 cars, but in some apps you have like F121, you don't have the GT3 cars, I was choosing some other cars. But what I forgot here about the Assetto Corsa is the sound. Sounds really fantastic here, fantastic sound, the replays, and also in the race, in race itself, in the car, absolutely fantastic sound here. So, well, here we go. First to my personal rating for Assetto Corsa in Monza, and then to my final conclusion. And we'll see the winner of my comparison. Here we go. So, well, here is my rating for Assetto Corsa. So, for the graphics, I give it 3 stars. It's not really up to date, but it's pretty good graphics. Sometimes with a little bit problem with screen sharing, even with VSync on. So therefore I give it 3 stars. So when you look in the distance, or in the distance, it's not so clear as let's say in Automobilista 2 or in F121. So the surrounding is not so detailed. Sometimes we have too much. Oh, well, let's say game-related ad banners. That's always what I don't like so much. Okay, so therefore it's 3 stars for the audio, which is really pretty good. Not in perfection, but really good. The audio, it's very heavy and good, strong sound within the cars and also in the replays. So I can give it 4 cars for the audio. For track response, force feedback handling, well, it's okay. It's not too good, not too bad, and well. But it's okay, so I give it 3 stars. I can say the same thing for the variety of cars and track layouts. It's a lot of cars, but few track layouts, so therefore also 3 stars. That's a little bit average. Nothing special, so it is just okay. The same as the flexibility of tuning weather with some good tuning options, and the weather options are a little bit poor with not the seasons like in Project Cars 2 or in Automobilista 2. But all in all, it's okay. It's, let's say, for me, it's a good average sim for sim races to start with. The user interface, it's I must say pretty bad. It's I'm not really satisfied with the user interface, so therefore it's just getting 2 stars from my point of view. For the hardware requirements for 4K gaming, yes, it's okay. It's running also with 2060 on 4K. On 2060 Super, which I have in another PC. But yeah, it's for sure it's demanding, but not too demanding. It's also from my point of view, it's average. So you see, in the most cases, I give 3 stars for Assetto Corsa, which gives an overall rating of 21 stars. So that's it. And now we go to the final conclusion, to the final summary of my big comparison of Monza racing circuit. And here we go with the result. And the winner is the King of Monza. Is not only the winner, the King of Monza is, from my point of view, and receives the gold medal in sim racing, is Automobilista 2 with 27 stars. As I said again, this is just my personal rating of these 8 sim apps, and for me, Automobilista 2 is the absolutely winner. Most part of this comes from the graphics, which are stunning, which are really fantastic. And but in all, there's nothing really bad in Automobilista 2. Nearly everything is good or even perfect, and therefore it's the honorable winner of my comparison of Monza in sim racing apps. On second place, I have R Factor 2. Some people may wonder, because it's not really looking very good. It's let's say it's looking like a little bit old-fashioned, a little bit like one generation back in sim racing. But it's making its points. It stars out of the handling of the track response, of the sound, of the immersion you have. That's really perfect. The tuning options you have on the cars and so on. It's pretty good. It's for, let's say, for hardcore sim racers, for really for people who want the total immersion of driving, to have the feeling in their hands of controlling the car perfectly. That's our Factor 2, and it's just on the second place because of the graphics. I think if they have some better graphics, let's say they're running also on DX11, like the same as Automobilista 2. But if you compare the graphics of both, so there are worlds between those two. But so as I said, if the graphics in R Factor 2 would be as good as an Automobilista 2, so R Factor 2 would be the number one for sure. So on third place, I have Race Room Racing Experience. Congratulations for the bronze medal, and I have it rated with a total of 24 stars. It's not really hardware demanding. It's free to use on Steam in the basic version, and it has everything. It has really good opportunities in Oh, well, let's say in choosing the cars, the variety of cars is pretty good, and the graphics are very good related to the thing that it's only running on DirectX 9. So therefore, they have reward rewarded the bronze medal. So again, the first on the podium are Automobilista 2 with a gold medal, R-Factor 2 with a silver medal, Race Room Racing Experience with a bronze medal. So if you like to go for racing in Monza, just have a look at these three sim apps. But as I said, that's my absolutely personal view. That's my personal rating, my personal preferences I have. And well, I would be happy if you can give me a feedback. What's your favorite? Why is it your favorite? Leave it in the comments. I would be very happy. I'll answer all your comments and would be very happy if you subscribe also to my channel and have a look at my other uh, videos here on YouTube. There are a lot of videos, all in 4K, all with 60 FPS from all the sim maps you've seen here. Pretty new is R-Factor 2. I've been struggling with it a little bit in the past, but now it's for me it's really perfect for driving. Not from the optics, said often enough now, but from the driving feeling, it's absolutely perfect. So let's just go through the rest of the sim maps. Project Cars 2, same uh, engine in the background as the winner as Automobilista 2, but you feel that it's a little bit older, but still pretty good. So therefore 22 stars. Just missed the bronze medal a little bit. 2 stars between the bronze medal and Project Cars 2. Then we have Assetto Corsa Competizione. Absolutely perfect from the point of view from the graphics, superb graphics, no doubt about this. But it's losing some points about the hardware requirement, which is very demanding. Cost, I think so, of the Unreal Engine, which is a little bit unusual for racing sim apps that you're using the Unreal Engine. So it's very demanding, and even it's hard to get a 60 FPS on 4K with the RTX 3080. Sharing the fifth place is Assetto Corsa. It's the same. Assetto Corsa and Assetto Corsa Competizione. They both gained 21 stars in my personal rating. So this was just the last one I've done before the summary here. So I have nothing more to say about Assetto Corsa. On the sixth place, it's from my point of view, it's F1 21. Just only received 17 stars because it's very limited. It's just F1, it's just F2 cars, it's just one track. Graphics are very hardware demanding. It's well, let's say it's a next generation, nearly a next generation game from the graphics. It's pretty good, but it's so hardware demanding. You won't be happy if you run it on an old PC, and as I said, it's very limited. From my point of view, it's not good for beginners, not for experienced users. Yes, okay, it's too limited in everything. It's too much overhead, too much overhead. I want to go into a racing sim app and start driving, start racing, and therefore it's complicated to navigate through the menus and so on. It's, as I said, too much overhead with the carry modes are too complicated from my point of views, and the in between videos, too much sequences. Okay, so therefore they got 17 stars. All in all, it's the graphics are really perfect. Look at the reviews; they are absolutely perfect, absolutely photorealism. That's unbelievable. The graphics, but replays is not everything. I want to drive. I want to feel it in my hands. So, and therefore only 17 stars for F1 21. And finally, on my personal last place is Forza Motorsport 7, with pretty good graphics, pretty good replays, but car control is absolutely bad from my point of view. The force feedback and track response is really nothing. You're feeling like driving on a rubber band, and well, tuning options are very limited. Even there's weather options, it's really nothing. I don't have the impression that I can tune everything. It's very complicated even to get some cars into the race you want to have in. It's yeah, a lot of things. You feel that's well, a pretty good old racing sim. You can play it if you like it. If you're an action gamer, if you're, let's say, like to play with controllers, then it's might be good for you, and it's nice to have a look at it from the graphics. You have a good, very huge variety of cars. It's pretty good. Therefore, I'm doing also some videos in my specials when I go to special car brand or something else. You find everything in Forza Motorsport 7. You find hundreds of cars. That's pretty good, but that's it. But for serious sim racing, I think it's not the best. Also, not the best to start with because you will ruin your driving style with Forza Motorsport 7 for sure. And even the AI is pretty bad there. Therefore, it's in my rating, it's on the last place with some 14 stars. So, well, I hope you like this review, and well, we'll be very happy if you come back soon and have a look at all my other videos. Subscribe to my channel. Thanks a lot, and see you soon. Bye bye.